Hi everyone, welcome to RafaCast. My name is Rafael Morim, and every episode here is an interview, and we talk about design, development, work-life balance, expat life, mental health, history, and other cool stuffs. Welcome.
All right. I am super excited to have you here, one of my biggest friends. And frankly, it was quite hard to convince her to join the but her name is Tiffany. She works in the GoDaddy as a UX engineer, right, Tiffany?
Yes, I am a UX engineer at GoDaddy. I wouldn't say it was that difficult to convince
Yeah.
me.
I just needed to say like, please, 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 please. No, just kidding. How are you?
I'm doing really well. Currently at my apartment in San Jose. It's been warming up, so yeah, things are looking up.
Yeah, I mean, you're living in California, right?
Yeah, I'm in California.
How is the COVID situation there?
Things are starting to open up where I am. So I'm in Santa Clara County, and we've essentially started to adjust. Like everyone's still wearing masks, social distancing, but restaurants are open, people are going to the mall. I think like movie theaters are opening up again, and eligibility for the vaccine has already been expanded to include people 16 and older. So I already got my first vaccine, and I'm getting
Whoa,
I'm getting my second shot next weekend.
congrats.
Thanks.
But I mean, like people are like living the regular life. Like you told that people are going to the mall. Like you need to use mask or you can just go if you're vaccinated or something like that. How does work?
You do have to wear your mask. There are definitely still signs that say you have to enter with a mask, or if you don't have one, someone can give you one. And so far, I haven't heard anything about proving that you're vaccinated, but I did hear that Office Depot or Office Max or something will laminate your vaccination record for free if you bring it in, which will probably be really helpful when people start flying again.
Yeah, then it is quite helpful. Like I can't wait actually for have my vaccine in here in Sweden, so I can like I think that for travel to Brazil they will reduce the restriction if you're already vaccinated.
Yeah, that would be great. I've been hearing that you might still have to do some type of rapid test or get tested before to prove that you have not tested positive in the last 24 hours. But it's, yeah, something that we'll have to just adapt to, I guess. What's nice is that people will definitely start planning vacations again really soon.
Yeah, here in Sweden is already happening because I mean it's the whole time of the year that doesn't have sun and like there are some months here that doesn't even have light and you need to take vitamin stuff. I mean if you're outsider like me. But it's just now is the time that the sun is coming up and the summer is actually coming and people are literally in the meetings like I'm gonna take July off. I don't care. And then everyone was like, me too. And things that the whole company is not going to be like 100, it's not even like, it's not going to be even 70% like active in the Swedish summer. So it's just insane because also there's people like planning to go to Hawaii and like travel to other areas. And I think that once the summer comes, for me personally, there will be like a lot of people traveling outside doing the PCR.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. I definitely think Hawaii is going to be a hot spot. I
Yeah.
already know people who have booked trips for June. So I'm expecting a lot of people to be taking vacations coming up. So it'll be interesting how we'll have to spread out our vacation time so we don't overlap too much.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, is even I think that we talked about that before, right? I just want to go to Hawaii. Like, I think that you were the first person that actually talked about Hawaii. Like, you went when we worked together in GoDaddy, right? And you showed the pictures. I was just like, damn, I need to do that at some point of my life. And I was planning to go this year, but COVID happened, and I really want to go there. How was your trip to there?
Every trip to Hawaii is amazing. I'm pretty sure when we talked about it, I was telling you, like, we were both talking about how we go on a lot of trips where we have a really packed agenda and like we want to see all these different historical landmarks, really cool architectural buildings. And
Yeah.
every day it's like you're maybe hopping on a train and your vacation doesn't feel like a vacation. Like you come back and you sort of need to recover from your vacation. And so then we contrasted that with Hawaii, where the whole purpose of that vacation is for you to just lie on the beach and do nothing
Yeah.
and like
Oh yeah,
spot
yeah.
seals.
Now I remember. Yeah, we because I was in Italy in the time, I guess. Like I was going to Italy, and I was like every day going to museum, and like I was going for different restaurants. And I think a few time later, you went for Hawaii, and then we had a conversation about travel, and then you just like, dude, I just chilled. That was like my vacation. I was like, then I actually needed that.
Yeah, because normally I'm trying to coordinate with other people, like, what do we want to do on each day? How do we optimize our time? And there's just like so much scheduling coordination. Whereas with Hawaii, we were like, okay, like here's a general plan, but if we don't get to doing any of that, that's fine because we still will be relaxing at the beach and not having to worry about anything.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, even like Hawaii's have a similar actually vibe of like most of the Brazilian places. Like in the northeast of Brazil, you just go and chill. You don't do nothing. Like I mean, obviously there's museums. I hope that also have museums in Hawaii, but people don't go for Hawaii mostly because of the museums or anything like that. They go because of like just take a rest. And I know people that actually go for a spa. And I mean, frankly, it looks quite amazing.
Yeah, there's plenty of good food. I think just the culture is so laid back. No one's in a rush to get anywhere, and that rubs off on you. You realize in your normal daily life, you actually do have a really like strict schedule and you're trying to like cram everything into your day. And
Yeah,
then when you're in Hawaii, like no one is trying to, for example, drive past you on the road. Like if you're taking your time, they're taking their time. There's no stress.
yeah. But what is the time zone difference like of Hawaii and like California?
There's a 3-hour difference.
Oh,
So
so it's fine, right? Like if you need to talk with family and stuff.
yeah, like I would just call family here a little earlier. They'd be, getting ready for bed and still slept.
Oh, okay. And then like the airplane to get there is like how many hours?
I think it's 4 to 5 hour flight, but I don't remember right now since it's been over a year since I've flown anywhere.
Yeah, I fully understand. Yeah. I missed that actually.
Yeah. I don't know that I necessarily miss the airport.
Come
So
on,
it'll be
it's
interesting when I go
magical.
back. Like I used to pride myself on how fast I'd get through the TSA line, like make sure all of my liquids are in their bag. Like I have shoes that I can slip on and off easily.
Yeah.
But now I'm out of practice, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, for TSA, always have been fun for me when I used to go for US. Like when we were working together in GoDaddy, I think I flew to US, I don't know, 6 or 7 times because of GoDaddy. And then, I mean, one time, I think every time that I said that I worked for GoDaddy, everyone knew that like was the IT company. But one time I say it, then like a woman was laughing on me because I think that she thought it was like a porn site or something like that. And then she was like, okay, and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, dude, I thought that all the Americans knew what GoDaddy was about.
Yeah. I feel like if you were flying into Arizona, I would also assume that
Mm.
most people know what GoDaddy is. But I feel like, even in the Bay Area, I'll have to explain the company that I work for. So I'm not even surprised if someone assumes it's about.
Ah, okay. I thought that was quite okay, because I mean that was only one 10, maybe one of 11, because sometimes I need to do like double checks in the TSA, but
Yeah.
it's just like that was the unique time that someone was just like, "What is that?" And I was just so confused. It was like I never actually got this question.
Yeah.
I don't know what you answer. Like, this is a domain company. You know what is a domain? And she was like, no. And Taylor was like, well, Facebook.com? She was like, yeah, I use it. So focus on the Facebook.com.
Yeah.
And that is a domain, and we sell domains. And she was like, I do not understand. So you work for Facebook? And I was like, no, I don't. But it was really, yeah, I mean, it was a surprise for me.
Yeah, I think I've had to explain to a few drivers, a few Lyft or Uber drivers. But I mean, I think it's interesting that they continue to like sort of probe you and ask you anyway.
Yeah, and I also feel that like I mean, you work now in the editor team, right?
Yeah, the website sales marketing website builder, which we've calling the editor.
Do you mind to explain a little bit what you do?
Sure. So I'm a UX engineer on the website builder team. There are 4, I believe. I might be miscounting right now, but 4 engineers on the team. And it's a product that makes it easy for small business owners to create websites, good looking websites, hopefully, very quickly. If they have a store, they can start selling online, and you don't have to have a lot of technical knowledge necessarily. And so we're just trying to help people, create their online presence, and then they can move on and focus on other aspects of their business. What I mainly do is I focus on what the user actually sees, the UI, and experimenting with the UI. So we do a lot of A/B tests, and a lot of my work now is about setting up these tests, getting certain samples of people to go through different experiences, and we measure, how well they're able to complete a task in one experience versus another.
The goal that is connected with is my business, right? And don't you, when I was working there, actually, I was really passionate about it because it's really special to see like people like that doesn't understand anything about tech or anything like that, and they are able to have a shop or like to create anything that is useful for them. How do you feel about that?
I think it's really empowering. I talk to a lot of people who just feel really intimidated, feel like they need to reach out to some type of expert or specialist, right? And then they don't have necessarily the design control they want, or they're not able to voice their opinions as confidently, and they just end up like they pay someone and they end up with something that might not be their vision. And I think there's a lot of anxiety and stress around having to form a relationship with a stranger who then almost controls your site. So I think it's really empowering when the business owner himself or herself, can create the site, make all of the design decisions. And obviously we help with part of that by just giving them really nice looking options for different, layouts of widgets on their site. But yeah, I've worked with some friends and family members who have, just really voiced their appreciation for a product like that, and it's been really nice to be able to help create something that has that kind of value.
Yeah, that actually is really cool. I was really proud when I was working with that, and I can feel that. I mean, I felt that you also feel the same. And if I remember correctly, you live in Phoenix, right?
I lived in Scottsdale for 6 months after I graduated. So I think that was in 2016. I lived there during the summer season. So people,
How you felt about it?
yeah, so I really liked it because I love warm weather. And obviously people are like, is 100 degrees and up considered warm weather? Or is that just like unbearable? And I didn't have a car, so I was the only person really like biking around and taking the bus that I know of, at the office. But I really liked it. I met plenty of people at the offices there. I would just like bike to get my groceries, or just bike around because the roads were so empty and so wide. So yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, it actually, yeah, Phoenix is such unique. Like when you compare for San Francisco, for example, right?
Yeah,
Unique.
in SF, I never had a car, so I just, did the same thing, didn't have a car there in Arizona, but everything is so spread out. Whereas in SF, I was able to just walk around to get everywhere or hop on a bus.
In San Francisco.
Yep.
Yeah, because you live in San Francisco as well, right?
Yeah, so right now I'm not in San Francisco, but my parents still are. They're in the outer Sunset, so it's about a mile from the beach.
Yeah, that is quite good. But San Francisco lifestyle is quite expensive, right?
It is really expensive. Food, there's really good food though. So, like there are trade-offs. Maybe if you sacrifice a few things,
Yeah.
you can those things being if you're okay with living with like 5 or 6 other people in a tiny one-bedroom apartment, then yeah, and then you can enjoy the amenities of San Francisco.
Yeah, I mean, but that because of San Francisco lifestyle, you felt like I don't know, you feel like this is related to tech, like that tech is like, I mean, that is my guess, but do you feel that is like rushing the prices of everything? Because most of the tech companies are there, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. I grew up there, so I remember, when things were slower in a sense and there weren't just lines everywhere or like fully packed buses, and with the tech bubble, a lot of people started moving to the city. Everyone's cramming onto the trains. Like
Yeah.
everyone's going to downtown SF, like all of the tall buildings, right? With all these stories filled with offices. It definitely, yeah, it changed the demographic and the landscape for sure.
But it's also strange, right? Because like kind of pushed people that already live there and to far away, I think Oakland or other areas like that, right?
Yeah, well, a lot of those people working in tech are also, now living in the surrounding areas. So they're already in Oakland or the South Bay. I think what's funny though is that in the neighborhood where my parents are, it still feels sort of like very similar to how it felt when I was, like only when I was a kid growing up there. Like it's not as fast paced as it is downtown. And there are still like small corner stores or bakeries that have been there for decades, but like
Oh, nice.
slowly, yeah. So I really like that, but like slowly there, newer shops, newer cafes that are opening up. I noticed a new apartment complex being built only a couple blocks down from my house, which is strange because where my parents live, it's just a lot of, it's very residential, just homes where families have lived for
Yeah.
decades. But it is definitely like there's a stark difference between that neighborhood and getting closer to downtown SF where all of the office buildings are.
And then they leave the home they own, like the house that they have, and they start to rent the apartment or do a Airbnb because that is the
Yeah.
business.
Yeah, my mom definitely thought about that at one point. She was like, "Do I need to rent out our downstairs space?" But she hasn't done that.
Dude, every time that I went for San Francisco, all the rent or I mean all the Airbnb, they were really expensive.
Yeah, and then like you only, get like a bedroom of a child who has, moved out.
Dude, I got one room when I was with Martin and
Yeah.
last time in San Francisco. Like we got like a shared room, but I mean Martin convinced me. If he's listening to this podcast, he actually convinced me to pay less money because I wanted like an apartment for
You
both.
want like an over the top penthouse, and Martine said, "No, let's be frugal."
No, I'm not that fancy. Know me, but I mean I don't know if I am that fancy, but but Martin was just like, no, let's save money and blah 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 blah. And actually, he was right. But we got like a room with 2 beds, a really small room with 2 beds, and that was our apartment for like 1 week and a half.
Yeah.
Was
I
just
think that's
like,
when I think that's when I said next time you guys visit, you can just stay with my parents.
yeah, I'll be like, sub family, I am here to stay.
Yeah. They'd be happy to have you guys over.
But you said that you grew up in San Francisco, right? So you I suppose that I mean we talked about this before, but I suppose that you like the Golden State Warriors from the Bay.
That's like there's an obvious answer there.
I
I
know.
love the Warriors.
I know the first I mean a few times that we like I mean, maybe a few times that I remember to hang out with you that you were not using like Warriors thing. Like, I remember a lot of times you were with a Warriors t-shirt or like a cap or,
Yeah, every time, they win the championships, you have to get that year's shirt.
yeah, but unfortunately, Tiff, they lost it for Raptors. This need to be said.
That one time. But it's okay because there will always be a future shirt.
And I told you in the Slack, nobody believed it on me. Nobody. If Ben's listening also this podcast, he was like, I don't know, brother. And then the thing is, surprise, they got it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you were the only one who
Yeah.
was cheering on the Raptors in our group. But I also think that no one else really cared as much as the two of us because like Ben would have wanted the Suns to make it to the playoffs and win.
Yeah, Ben only cares actually if he's Lakers in the finals. He really doesn't like Lakers. And this is public, so I don't care to say this. Like, he basically tweets that he doesn't hate Lakers.
Yeah, understandable.
What? I like Lakers. I just want to put this in the record. When LeBron won last, like, I was super excited. So just want to put this in the record. But changing this. Oh, also I want one more question about the Golden State. Like, they built. I went actually for the new arena. Well, I think 2 years ago or when I was working GoDaddy, I went there. And dude, it's fantastic. Have you been there?
I'm pretty sure I haven't. So you've seen the new arena and I haven't.
I got courtside tickets. Dude, was amazing.
That's what you told me, right? Yeah, I remember now.
Was one of the best things I have done because like I was last year actually because like once I went for courtside, Martin was like, "Oh, super expensive," and he was right as well. He's always right, but but I was like, "Cool, gonna do it," and I didn't care that much that I went there to go for courtside, and then I got the courtside and like once I returned to Brazil, lockdown. So it was just like didn't matter if I spend more money, like everything stopped to like everyone stopped to have fun later. So for me it was just like, damn, I should have go even harder than that. You know what I mean?
It's like, could you have though? Was there really anything else you could have done to exceed that experience?
I could. I was between two courtside tickets. One that was like really on the floor. It was like first row or first row. I mean, I got first row as well, but was not so good as the other one. But the difference was like maybe some couple of thousands of dollars. And then it was just like, these are already expensive. Should I? But the thing is, now looking back, I'm like, damn, I should have done that.
Totally should have.
Yeah, that was actually the one of the like in the long time that people were actually allowed to see the Golden State play and like and go for a stadium and go for arena and see basketball.
Yeah, that's true. That's really interesting to now think about what it'll be like going forward. If people will be showing up at the arenas and if we'll have to be spaced out. I don't know the next time I'll be at a game.
Yeah, yeah. And now you have been in the old arena like in Oakland, right?
Yeah, I have. One of the best gifts that I had gotten from my friend Paul in college. It was finals week and it was my birthday and then he surprised me with tickets to the game.
Whoa.
So we went together. Yeah. And that was great. I think that was probably one of the last times that I had been to the arena. That would have been that's kind of sad because then that would have been like 7 or 8 years ago. I've probably been to another game since then actually, but yeah, that was a great time.
Then and I was sad actually the Raiders went out of Oakland because they were also from Oakland, right?
Yeah, but besides, knowing that there's a team called the Raiders, I know nothing else really about football.
Oh, okay. Yeah, me neither actually. But I thought that I don't like when team moves for different places. I feel that like lose a little bit of the history.
Yeah, that's true.
Because
Yeah,
there's
and then
a community behind that, like people that actually spend like generations like actually going for the stadium, caring about that. So I feel a little bit bad, but the same way I do understand.
I feel like there's that same sentiment too when stadiums are renamed. Like somewhat remember there being some type of petition, maybe not a petition, but there was a lot of talk when Pac Bell Park, the stadium where the Giants play, became AT&T Park.
Yeah.
And I that was just confusion. You're like, what's the name of the place again?
Yeah. By the way, I still use the hat that you gave me about the Giants.
Yeah. I'm glad you wear that.
Dude. But then
Why
I
would I get you
decided
gifts that you're not going to use?
but then I decided my baseball team later. There is Dodgers, just also putting the record. But
Oh.
moving forward to that. How like changing the subject completely, but how you decided that you're going to be working with tech and like how you like figure out okay, I want to be like a UX engineer. And you also code, right? Like you also do programming stuff.
Yeah. Well, I was definitely a very introverted, nerdy kid, and I still think that I am. Um,
I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that. I remember first time that I met you, you are not that much of introvert.
I'm totally an introvert. No one believes me. No one trusts me. I like having conversations with people, like one-on-one conversations. And then when there are group conversations, I'm basically silent, unless we're playing a game. If we're playing a game, then my competitive side takes over. I'm like, all right, here we go. Here are the rules of the game. And like, here's how I'm going to strategize to win.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm totally an introvert. If you invite me out, say like, even a birthday party, I'd rather probably just stay home. I'm not saying that your birthday is not important and wouldn't be enjoyable. I just think about, what it would be like if I were just at home on my bed, watching some TV, and that sounds just as enjoyable.
Unbelievable, Tiff. If I live it in the California and you have done that with me, I would pick you in their house. I'd be like, I can't
No,
believe.
that's
Sorry?
I would totally also invite you to just like chill and just, I don't know, like we could eat food, sit there in silence and be like watching separate shows. And that would
Oh no,
be
you mean for your
great.
birthday? I thought
Oh,
that
for
you're
my
going to.
birthday.
Oh, okay. I thought that you are not going to other person's birthday to stay
Oh,
home
yeah,
and
no, that's
see
also
TV.
what I mean. Yeah, I would not
Oh,
want to go to someone else's birthday party.
oh, okay. That is
Yeah, yeah.
disappointing, but
And then,
the
when I'm having conversations with people, it's not like I'm sharing everything about my life. It's just like you make small talk and you move on.
yeah, and I share that feeling because my birthdays after I made like 19, I was basically inviting people to get coffee and cake in home. That is it. There is no party. There is nothing. Like you just sit and talk about things that we have done when we were in the high school or I don't know, like yeah, basically high school. Because most of the friends that go to my birthday. I mean, not last year when I was here in Sweden, because came a lot of people that I met in Sweden. So it was like yeah, a lot of people, but no one had like the background that I had with in the high school. But usually when I was in Brazil, like people just came to eat one slice of cake, one cup of coffee, sit and watch something, maybe a movie, and then they leave.
Yeah.
And there's it. I don't want anything besides that. Just want to be with my friends, hang out. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
But sorry, go on. I interrupted you.
What were we talking about?
That you were introvert, that you prefer to doesn't go for the birthday party, which I kind of agree with you. I'm not gonna be a hypocritic. Like I side with you on that. So let's move.
Okay, but what was the original question?
How you enter in the UX like
Oh,
engineer thing?
yeah. Okay, yes, yeah, yeah. So I was definitely a really quiet, super nerdy kid. Like every year did some type of math camp thing, was part of a math counts program, like prided myself in how quickly I could like recite the multiplication tables or whatever, your typical nerd. And then one year I was doing this program, this like residential summer program at Stanford, right? And they had housed the like math kids with the computer science kids. And at that time, I didn't know anything about programming. And I remember like walking into the computer room basically, and there were like all of the computer kids there. And one guy said he would show me, like what it what a computer program was, basically. And he asked me to just like write a print statement. He was like, that's it. Like, that's your very first program. And I was just like, wait, what? What's going on? So, yeah, after that, I basically switched from taking like math courses or math camps and started looking into like CS camps. And I didn't really take my very first like official CS course until college, but I definitely, started looking into the field. There, I found out, a lot of schools had robotics clubs and things like that. So I sort of felt like I was already behind when I entered college. But
Wait,
I
but this was when you were in the high school, in the yeah.
Yeah, like in high school, I took my regular courses. I think by my senior year, they introduced a CS class. So I had sort of just missed out on taking that class. But I did, like I said, I was doing these like summer camps. I was doing internships just to learn more. And yeah, I didn't really take my first official course until college.
Yeah, I mean that is really nice. You started quite young.
Yeah, and my mom, she was huge on pushing me to do just like learn a bunch of things. She actually works for the SF Examiner as she's a layout editor, and she does the sports section. And she's the one who taught me like how to use Photoshop and Illustrator. So I feel like part of my design background is attributed to her. And then she also encouraged me, to like look more into programming. And so I have this, like hybrid role where I'm coding, but also, designing. So maybe the output is like a prototype. Yeah, it's like the best of both worlds.
Dude, like, I mean, so fascinated. I never heard about this actually for like before about your mom influence.
Yeah, I mean, it was something that I didn't realize really either until a lot later on, because you sort of think you're like, okay, I'm paving my own path, and like my parents do one thing, I'm doing something different. And then when I started thinking more about it, I was like, I guess I'm more like my mom than I'd like to admit.
Dude, it's just like it's quite impressive. Then you say that she also worked with like doing layout, right?
Yeah, and that's something she still does. So it's
Whoa.
been a lot of years.
Yeah, it's and how she feels like have you guys talk about this like later when you realize how she feels she feel about like you following something similar to her like career path.
I think she's definitely proud and like happy for me that, like her goal was put her kids through college. Hopefully they have a job, like steady income. And, like now she's living her best life. She's found all these new hobbies, made new friends, buys plants all the time.
Yeah.
But we like hardly ever talk about what I do in detail, I feel like there's a lot of context that gets lost, so everything's just very high level. She'll when she's talking to family members back in like Vietnam or something, she'll just be like, "Oh yeah, Tiffany just works on the computer. Like her job is like a computer job, an internet job."
Yeah. You
Like we're not really able to get into specifics.
yeah, I forgot actually. I only remember that, but you also have relatives in the Vietnam, right?
Yeah, everyone on my dad's side of the family is in Vietnam. So my dad grew up in Vietnam and my mom grew up in Laos.
Have you been in those places?
I've been to Vietnam. I went there for the first time. I think it was it might have been 2019. And I went with my mom, my sister, and my aunt. And I met my cousins, aunts, uncles for the first time in person. Everyone was so inviting. Vietnam itself was beautiful. Like I wasn't used to, seeing so many scooters on the road. We were like the only ones in a car. We went to this like neighboring island, and yeah, just like really nice beaches.
And do you understand anything of they say?
So they speak a lot of languages. So my family speaks Cantonese, and so do my relatives in Vietnam. But they also speak fluent Vietnamese. So they would speak to us in Cantonese. And some of my cousins, are taking English classes, so they could also speak some English. But mostly they would be talking to my mom because my my Cantonese is, almost non-existent. Like I can't really say coherent phrases. So it'd be like, okay, tell my mom what I'm saying, and then they like sort of figure it out,
You know anything? Like, can you say anything like here?
Can I speak Cantonese? Like I can
You
just say,
can read, maybe because I do feel the same with Spanish. Like my mom speaks Spanish like fluently in home, but at some moment I didn't practice it that much, and I can fully understand what they say, but I cannot elaborate anything. Especially because Portuguese and Spanish are similar, but I grew up like with Spanish words, so I don't have like delays for like try to figure out the Spanish dictionary, like vocabulary in my mind. So by the same way, I cannot like reply back. I can understand, but I just get lost.
yeah, that's the same with me. I can understand what people are saying, so I can, like sometimes they'll be talking to my mom and they'll be like, "Oh, does she understand? Like, can she speak it at all?" And then my mom will just say like, "She understands what you're saying, but she can't respond."
Yeah, same way. Yeah, but like actually today I was in the event here in Sweden, and they didn't want to say that I didn't speak Swedish yet. So I was just like, no, no, I ain't getting better with Swedish. Like I can't understand what you guys are saying. And then they're like, oh, and they kept talking Swedish, and I was just like pretending that I understand.
You
I
were
was
just
like, no.
nodding.
Yeah, I was just nodding. I know that was pretty rude, but I think that I was so because I'm so lazy socially. Sometimes I just like I just want to go with the flow. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I do know what you
And
mean.
yeah, exactly. I think it's kind of related with the birthday thing. Like I have same personality. That is the reason that we I think that we got like really close in the beginning of the GoDaddy because like when we met in Phoenix, I think first time we hang out like we went for the mall, right?
We
And
went shopping. You are my
yeah,
shopping buddy. I love it
dude.
because you would buy everything in an instant. You'd make decisions in seconds. You're like, "Do I want this? Yes, no. Yes." Like, "All right, we're going to the counter, you pay, we're out of there." Whereas like I'm browsing, like second guessing all of my choices. So I was like, "Okay, this is the greatest. Like I'm basically living my like shopping dreams through you. You can just like buy all the things."
Yeah, I was. I have the. I mean, I. Well, to be fair, my mom, she takes like hours in the mall. Like, when I grew up, really mad with her because like going to the mall with her actually, I was really mad with her because she goes for the place and then she's like literally second guessing everything. Like, how I feel about this red and like hit this blue one. And then when she finally decide, she's like, you know what, the blue one maybe not going to work out. And then she
Mhm.
creates like a theory and like I just like I am an anxious person. So I think that that kind of created on me like if I go for shopping, I need to do like right away. I need to enter and like just see and like buy. And I
Yeah.
bought the TV. Everything that I buy, like I just enter and I don't think much. It's just do it. I bought I think it was the TV these days in Sweden. And then I enter and there's like, yeah, I'm gonna take it. The guy's like, sure, but don't you want to look at the other TVs? And I was like, no, this one looks pretty nice. And then he was like, yeah, but it's still a pretty big decision, right? And then I was just like, yeah, man, but whatever, just just bring the TV. I just don't care. I don't want to overthink things. And the thing is, like every time that I overthink, I kind of regret. Like I always going to find something that they're not satisfied. Like
Mhm.
is a rule for me. Like I think that when I bought the guitar, I was like overthinking later. Like should I have bought this or like because I was also thinking the another guitar and I was just like then like overthinking that is the reason that I just entering and buy. You saw it, you're the witness.
I was. Yes, I am a witness. Yeah, I'm surprised. I really don't think you have regrets about like many purchases.
Yeah, I didn't have actually. It was pretty nice, and I most of the most of the I usually don't have regrets with anything. But I especially with shopping, like you should do without regret. You should do for feel good, like like feel like the power of buy things. I don't remember even what I bought it with you, but I remember that we went for a Lego store or something like that.
I think
And
you like if I remember, I think you bought a jersey. You bought a bunch
oh
of
yeah, yeah, yeah,
DVDs.
yeah,
You
yeah,
bought
yeah.
DVDs, and I was like, what? Who still buys DVDs? One, and then two, you didn't even have a DVD player. You were just like, I'll figure that out later on.
Yeah, that I bought the DVD in the Brazil. I was I was just like because I look at the DVD, dude, we don't have that in Brazil like for Cowboy Bebop. And then and I mean and I to find that in Brazil is quite hard in Rio. So it's just like, what if I can get this done now? And then and I bought the Chuck series, the Chuck
Oh no, I think you
this
bought Vans. Did you buy Vans?
yeah, I bought a lot of things. We should not talk about like what I bought in the podcast, but obviously this will be on record. But yeah, I went pretty hard. Also, like the jerseys, like I went like I want this because I was watching basketball a lot before go for US at that time. So I was really into jerseys in the time.
Yeah, I think that was basically what you wore every day. A
Yeah,
different
exactly, yeah. I was really excited. And you didn't have a jersey. So see the capitalism spirit on me.
That's true. I don't have a jersey.
Yeah, shame on you. Yeah, I was really excited. And the thing is like amazing, like because the mall they went in Phoenix had so many options, like it's so big mall. I don't know, like I feel that Phoenix have a really big they have really big malls, especially Scottsdale.
Wait, what are you saying? They have big months?
The shopping,
Oh, a mall. Oh,
yeah,
yeah. The one that we went to was pretty big. Yeah, you're right.
yeah, it was just like that. I was like, they had everything on the thing.
Yeah, that's true. So you could get really overwhelmed and just buy a ton of stuff just as you see.
Yeah, yeah. Also, I really like it. The GoDaddy office, like in Phoenix, was really nice, and I like it. Forgot the name. The place that you can slide.
Yeah, so we were in Tempe, I think that week, and there is a really big slide, but they've finally gotten rid of the slide because too many people were getting injured going down it.
No way. Are you
Yeah.
seriously? That was one of the pro things of the office.
I
I have
mean,
a video there.
do you? I think I've only gone down once and I was like, not
I
how
went
I
with
want to get to the cafeteria.
Dude, I went with Fabio one time together. Same slide.
Oh my God. Did he
Yeah,
actually want to go down? Did you just pull him down?
maybe Fabio was the reason that like the slide got shut down.
Maybe, yeah.
Unbelievable. Yeah, but I mean, back to the UX thing. Like you do like design and you do like coding as well. How you were like, okay, I want you to design because you started with CS, right?
I actually, okay, so I do have a CS background. I majored in CS in college, but then when I started working, I actually started off as a designer, mainly because like my focus was on like UI, UX courses, like a lot of front end pieces, like a lot of, I had some web development experience. And yeah, I know, that was still something that was like really interesting to me. And I started off as a UX designer. But then I realized that I didn't really just want to pick one side or the other. Like when I was just creating designs for things, I realized I missed coding. And the other way is true too. Like if I had been coding for too long, I realized I like missed the design side or like, doing like UX research. So I had to figure out, how I could do both because I knew that's what would keep me interested and motivated. And luckily, working on the editor team, I do get to do both, right? Like I get to create prototypes and run tests on those prototypes, and I get to push production code, and if someone is in need of like some wireframes or, needs help setting up usability tests, I can jump in there too. So it definitely keeps things interesting because not like each week or each day is always going to be a little different.
Yeah, it makes a lot of like removes a lot of routine, right? You can like work in different stuff.
Yeah, it does give me a lot more options and I get the chance to work with, a lot of different people, different teams. That was something that I guess has actually always been the case since I started working at GoDaddy. I've been able to work with so many different teams and make friends and, work on the design side of things and also, the code. So yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah, yeah, it was actually really fun also work with you. You're quite quite smart, also coding, also doing the designs. I was just like impressed because like you and Ben were like designers and coding as well.
Thanks. That's really nice of you to say that, even though I know you're a genius.
No, I'm not. Fabio's the genius.
Fabio is the genius, you're right.
It's pretty hard to compete with Fabio.
Yeah, it is. So let's just knock with him.
Yeah, but I mean, it was like I was amazed, you guys like work at Ben and like you, and then you like switch it for the dev team, and like how you feel about it, like your mind gets crazy, like one time working with like coding, other time like implementing design.
I don't think it gets too chaotic. It definitely keeps things exciting. Like Ben played a huge role in me figuring out what type of work I want to do and what my career would look like. Because when I first started and I was a UX designer, I felt like people didn't necessarily have like tasks for me that involved coding, and it was like hard to find those opportunities. But then when I switched to the editor team, right, like I felt like I filled that need of the UX engineer role, but I was also treated just like anyone else on the team, like anyone can pick up any task. And if you weren't sure what you were working on or what needed to be done, you could just reach out for help and someone would be there to, offer some guidance. So I never felt like it was just too much where it's like, okay, now I'm like in design mode or I'm in, like coding mode. I think it's been like there's been a balance of both. And if at any point like I'm confused about something, someone's gonna help me.
Yeah, exactly. I also felt that like the time when I was there, the team was really helpful. Like everyone was helping everyone.
Yeah, definitely. I'm super lucky that I've been able to work with all of you. People on the editor team now, people who are on the editor team before. It's been a really, really good experience. Best group of people. Like nothing is ever too serious.
Yeah.
I still, use plenty of Fabio emojis.
I really miss Fabio emojis. Like, it's definitely is the thing that if I had to say that the thing that I miss in GoDaddy is like the Fabio emojis. But we should not explain this. Like, we should keep for ourselves about this story.
Okay, all right, but yeah, Fabio emojis you miss the most, and then the people come second.
Exactly. I mean, Fabio emoji is probably my top three things in the work that I have. Like most of the place that I work in life, it's like was so good. Like use a Fabio emoji was something that bring peace for my soul.
Yeah. What's your proudest moment? Like the moment that I created Fabio thinking 6.
Oh yeah, and in the interview, doing the Spotify interview, what is the thing that you're most proud of? And it was just like, yeah, the time that like Fabio was like with the hands and he was thinking, and then I took a screenshot and then I used it like as emoji and became one of the most popular emojis in the GoDaddy. But yeah, but I think that honestly, I think that is a wrap up. I was really happy to talk with you today.
Thanks. I love talking to you every time we get to catch up.
Yeah. Anyway, I was really happy to have you here.
Thanks for having me.